Mayor, Council, if I may, it is required that I disclose, we talked about this in our one-on-ones, that I do own a unit in this building.
I guess it's my turn. I will also, under advisement of Attorney Margolis, will be recusing myself as I also own a unit there.
If I may. So first of all, agree with the city manager. I think this is being handled procedurally in the correct manner. As far as the recusal, if there is consensus among the remaining 4 members to leave the item on consent, it can simply be on consent, but with a note that the Councilmember Teixeira has recused herself. Ultimately, when it comes time to vote on the item, it could either be separated out by taking it off consent, or in the alternative, it could simply be noted today that she's recused herself. I think either way will accomplish our purposes. So,
now you have Jennifer.Poirrier, which is this woman, and the other woman is Lina Teixeira, I believe. And they both live in the condo complex. They don't live in the same condo, they just live in the same complex. Now, don't you think it would be a conflict of interest if they're about to vote on giving this woman a very substantial raise again for the second time in 2 years?
And some of them are counties. I mean, they're way above. So if you take her to them below, she's already above. Looks like the average for the ones if you take the counties out below.
Yeah, it's 3,000.
And then if you give her 5% more, then she's.
I know, but then we're comparing our city to Lakeland, Tallahassee, and Gainesville, and the
she'll
responsibilities.
be above those.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Well, she would be.
I hope so.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yes, you heard that right. She makes almost $30,000 more than Lakeland, Tallahassee, and probably a few others. She's already making $240,000, and now the council is trying to determine how much more they should raise her salary. And they're trying to determine if it should be 6.5% or 7.5%. Leave your comment down below and let me know if she even deserves a raise.
Yeah.
Can I add?
Yeah.
And here we go.
So the funny thing about percentages is that you can use them and manipulate them to mean something different. Like,
help me make this make sense. These 2 women, Poirier and Teixeira, are neighbors. They live a couple buildings away. And they're not going to recuse themselves? Because why?
Mayor, Council, if I may, it is required that I disclose, we talked about this in our one-on-ones, that I do own a unit in this building.
I guess it's my turn. I will also, under advisement of Attorney Margolis, will be recusing myself as I also own a unit there. Ooh, we got a 66% raise. Well, this is still 45,000, right? Sounds really alarming, 66%, but 66% of nothing is nothing.
What the fuck did you just say, Sal? I don't know.
Ooh, we got a 66% raise. Well, this is still 45,000, right? Sounds really alarming, 66%, but 66% of nothing is nothing.
That just makes no fucking sense. I mean, it's just bullshit.
That's one thing. I just wanted to, make that point. The second is,
Please, tell us what you're going to say. Are you going to admit that you and Poirier live in the same condo? Same condo complex. You're not in the same condo. You guys just both live in the same condo, and you're sitting here rooting for her, right? Okay, I got it.
when we look at these comparators and we're talking about 12% and this and this and that, that position was grossly underpaid before. We have to remain competitive, because if we keep changing leadership because we're not competitive, there's also very tangible negative impacts to that. If we have good leadership, and it's been proven.
Oh yeah? It's been proven? The great leadership this woman's done with all the law enforcement officers that have, messed up, from DUIs, friggin' the cop that got sued for, all this stuff. The fire department that pulled his wang out on a friggin' 18-year-old. Oh, all this stuff. Yeah. Good job. She's doing a bang-up job. Keep going. Give me more.
are we gonna risk losing that and then have the cycle again and have 3-4 managers in 3-4 years? So
And so what she's talking about right now is that there was Bill Horn. He mysteriously passed away when he went to go play golf with, I believe it was Ungst and somebody else. There was a couple people that went, in Slaughter. I think it was Slaughter and Ungst. They all went and played golf, and something happened to Bill Horn. And then there was John Jennings, the one before her. The only reason he got fired was because guess what? He was just coming out saying, hey, this isn't a good thing, and if you don't agree with the council, you're out. You're out of here, buddy. And that's why she's dying to keep her job. She makes $240,000. Don't forget.
I understand that. Let's be united, and I believe in that, and I've really been enjoying that. But this is something where I feel like it's just not as simple as she got 12 or he, because both of them got a huge raise. What happened last year was because they were grossly underpaid, and we fixed that. Now we're starting from scratch.
Okay, grossly underpaid, everybody. They were both making about $200-something thousand last year. And then they got a 12% raise. And now they're here, this was last year, now they're asking for another at least 6.5 to 7.5. And when we get to the end of the video, you're gonna see what they vote on. This is wild. This is crazy. This is a lot of money.
And let's not, I guess, oversimplify the amount of stress and pressure that leadership get exponentially with how high they go.
With great power comes great responsibility. You should know that, because if you're the one in power, it's your responsibility to do the right thing and to do your job. But if you are failing and lose millions of dollars, and I can name a few, you know, you're talking about the boats, you're talking about the parking lot that you and Miss Teixeira live in, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. So yes, you guys need to do better.
So I understand about being fair.
The way these kids are brought up today, there is a trophy. Because nobody wants anybody to have hard feelings. Nobody wants to get their feelings hurt.
And I understand that how it might be perceived, oh, we're going to give all the staff 6 and the leadership 7 or 8. But leadership also has a lot more, stress and responsibility and collateral damage, even to the families. And
I don't even know what this woman's talking about. She's just all over the place about whenever you sign up to work for the city, whether you're in the Parks and Rec or you're sitting up on that dais, you will be scrutinized not only by myself, but others. And that's what you need to start understanding is if you don't like it, kick rocks.
we have to account for that. I mean, she got threatened with, that involves her family, with her home, and
And if you don't know what she's talking about, here, let me play a clip for you. And Poirier and Teixeira, you're going to love this one.
HR has not been a breeding ground for city managers.
And I want you to pay attention to the names on these homestead exemptions. And there's one name on all of this that really stands out. Oh, look at that. Kaylee Valdez, Jennifer Poirrier. You got this one with Adam Poirier and Jennifer Poirrier. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this homestead. Remember that Christopher Lasky guy I was talking about? Oh, her name's on that property too. Now you tell me, did I threaten her? Did I say anything that was threatening? Anything, and I'll leave the clip of that video in the description below if you want to see it. But throughout the whole video, I've never threatened one of these people. Even though they like to gaslight because they're super woke. I've never done it. But it's not over yet.
this is the level of commitment that I think needs to be recognized, and that means we need to be competitive so we can keep the good leadership with us. So even though I understand how some staff members might say, well, how come the leadership gets 2 points more?
Because she lives in the same condo complex as you. She's your best friend. Hi, friend. It seems like if I was your neighbor, I might have some biases. And I think that's what's going on here, is you have a bias towards Jennifer.Poirrier. Leave your comment down below.
ACM.slaughter did go through legal to see if there was an opportunity to make changes or end this agreement, of which at that time we were told there wasn't any option. So the item is now before you.
I guess it's my turn. I will also, under advisement of Attorney Margolis, will be recusing myself as I also own a unit there. I think they deserve it.
But it's not leadership, it's one. So
Well, it's
not-
one person and one person, right? Okay.
That lead their entire department. It's not, it's only one. That's my only point.
I
It's not
understand.
one, it's not the leaders, it's all these department leaders. I mean, we've seen, yeah, they've been under tremendous stress, and they've got a police chief that gets, that there's people that hate him personally and come here, and, I mean, we got a lot of people that get written out. I just think it sends a poor message to take one employee, or two employees, but one employee in this case, and treat them differently than everybody else gets treated. Do we need to adjust? And you all did that, but I think it sends a very poor message to how we are all one team.
Well, Mr. Rector, I appreciate what you just said there, because that was unexpected. So, but we're going to continue. I don't want to keep interrupting.
When, I wouldn't give myself anymore if everybody I supervised, I wouldn't ask for it. If everybody I supervised was set. It's the nature of local government. Everybody knows there are pluses and minuses, but you're consistently, everybody gets the same thing. Maybe someday we'll get to some type of merit type system where we have, but we're not there yet. Right now, everybody gets the same raise. So, Councilmember.Cotton.
Yeah, thank you. So something that I want you to know is that I do put my feet in other people's shoes. So I think of the employees and them getting their 6% raise and my sentiment of where my percentage is for these two and how that could affect them. I'm not trying to make it an us versus them mentality because that creates toxic environment and strife. However, they're different jobs. We can't take the director's positions in this room and compare it to the actual CEO who's running the company and the buck stops with her, or our city attorney who assigns the cases, but at the end of the day, if he's failed, we're looking at him, right? He's gonna manage his office, she's gonna manage her directors, hold them accountable, but at the end of the day, they're who we hold accountable. And then, something that I didn't want to butcher it, so I looked it up, but I think of constantly is Richard Branson. Train people well enough so they can leave and treat them well enough so they'll stay.
Well, just to let everyone know, what he's saying is a fallacy. Because this woman, she's never been in a city manager position a day in her life, ever. She went from HR management. She got, after whatever happened with Bill Horn, they brought in John Jennings, and then she got promoted from HR director or HR manager or whatever you want to call it, and she got put into assistant city manager with not saying she doesn't have management, but never been an assistant manager of a city, ever. Only been HR, and that's human resources. So what he's saying is a fallacy, and he needs to do some research because this woman has no experience on how to run a city.
I think that, we've got some really good staff here across the board. So we do need to treat them well enough to where they don't want to leave. And I think we do need to be a standard because, again, we're not Lakeland. We've got more responsibilities, more overall things to manage here. So I'm just going to put it out to everybody. I'm sticking at 7.5 for both of them. I think that is fair for two managing offices that oversee the entire city. And I don't think that that's enough room to make animosities between the other employees. I think that 6% is also fair. And you know, my industry, that's what we deal with is collective bargaining. You know, I deal with the percentages and what people will get and what people won't get, right? So, I mean, I get that. And I don't think that that's going to create the animosity or the ripples that we'll see where there will be distension. So I'm at 7.5 for those of you who are wondering where I'm at. That's for both.
And I just want to point, she's already making $25,000 a year more than Lakeland. So
I agree with that.
So we're already paying more than Lakeland.
Lakeland has Legoland, Mr. Mayor. Like, they don't
Okay.
have Clearwater Beach and the airport and the marina that we have.
Well, which is fine, but I'm saying, you all are saying we're not paying, we're paying for more.
You could still buy a house
I
for
understand.
$250,000 there.
And Councilmember Mannino, I think, pointed out too, the cost of living in those areas as well, you know.
I find it funny that you're going to try to claim the cost of living when Jennifer.Poirrier lives with her daughter and not her husband, because her husband lives in Seminole, Florida. So what cost of living? Like, what are you talking about? She makes $240,000 a year.
There's a much different, I don't think we're apples and oranges. And I'm not trying to argue here. I'm just saying this is my point and where I'm at. I think that they're worth it and I want to keep them and I don't want to see them try and put their feelers out to go somewhere else.
Hopefully this helps with your feelers. Me and Mr. Haluba have a bet. And I promise you, I think I'm winning. But, you know, I'm not trying to make you quit. I just want you to do the right thing. I want some people held accountable when they do wrong. But unfortunately, Poirier's not the one to sit there and say, oh, I'm doing all this and I'm doing all that. She barely says anything at these meetings. She barely ever says anything. When I was in management, when I was running restaurants, yeah, I had management meetings and we had to make it very clear whether they liked it or not. But guess what? Not for Poirier. You're just like,
This black man! I love the black man! Show me the money!
I think we might see that if we go with just a 6 or a 6.5, and I don't want that to happen.
Councilmember Marino?
I mean, we could probably end this discussion now because I think the votes are probably there. I'm fine with 7.5%. I didn't come in and say 8. I was, but it sounds like if we wanted to have this done, would be done. I do respect the fact in what you said, Mr. Mayor. I wish I want to be united in this and a united front, and I agree. But to stop and move on in this process in this evening, it sounds like the votes are there and this could be done, and 7.5 is a number I'm fine with as well.
Is that a motion?
If they're good with that, I didn't make the motion.
I'll make a motion to increase salaries for the city manager and city attorney by 7.5%.
Second.
Okay, before we vote, the way I vote on this has nothing to do with what I've already said, performance. The way I vote is going to reflect how I feel the position should be treated with respect to the other folks. So with that, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
I'm a nay, and Vice Mayor Allbritton's a nay.
I ended the video here at the sake of time. There's going to be another part 2 to this, but I'm going to let you know. They basically just gave this woman a 7.5% increase on $240,000. If you want to do the math, do the math. Between all the things that I've seen from, because she's in control of the police and the fire department, and she has to oversee everything. I get it. Trust me. I had to oversee everything in a restaurant. I didn't have all these people. All I had were a bunch of cooks, and I had to take care of everything else. So guess what? Suck it up, Buttercup. And I'm giving congrats to Mayor.Rector and Mr. David.Allbritton. Cotton, I still appreciate the times that you voted no on the free speech thing, but once again, I don't know what it is about this woman, and I don't know what's so special about her, because honestly, I don't know what I honestly don't know what she does. And from my whistleblowers, most of the people that are under her department do not like her. They really wish she wasn't there because she's not there. She's not a positive. Even though that you claim all this stuff, and don't worry, I'm going to be getting those records requests. And yeah, we'll find out exactly how you guys voted because I really want to see what you actually said. So I hope this enjoys your weekend. Enjoy it. Embrace it. And yeah, I can't wait to see you again. I love you, friends. Bye, friends. You're my best friend. And I'll see you again. Don't forget, hit that like, share, and that subscribe button. Auditpalooza is coming up October 19th. Links are in the description.